Hello guys, what's up? How are you doing there? Um, I really need to, before we talk about the next strategy, I believe we've talked about the M strategy and we've been on that for a while now, and it's time for us to go on to the next strategy and other things that we have for these particular lessons. But before we do that, let's talk about some indicators that could be helpful to identify some M strategy and the rest of them. In Forex there are so many indicators that are applicable. This place we are going to talk about some of them that you manage. Alright, so here the first indicator, we are going to talk about three most important indicators here. That one will be we have the MACD. That's they call it MACD, moving average convergent divergent indicator. Then we have the Stochastic Rsi and ordinary stochastic. Then the other one will have Bollinger Band. Alright, there are so many other ones, but these are just the three that we're going to be talking about. We have other ones so alright, so let's quickly get our indicator from here. Let's type MACD. The fact that I said we'll talk about three, I might still digress to some other ones, but these ones are the most important. Now when you're on your MACD, this is how it looks like. This MACD down here, okay, I believe it has some setting which if you're using laptop, why is text appearing all over? Let me uncheck that text box. Okay, if you're using laptop and you tap on it, you will see the places where settings can be done. Like as it is now, the default setting is the strength level is 9. Okay, you can increase, reduce, or reduce the strength level. You can see it's shrinking. Alright, let me make it 9 the way it was. Then you can leave it to either close, open, or high. Let's leave it as then the slow length, let's leave it at default. Then the fast length, well, I prefer the fast length to be reduced to 1, typically, so that we can be able to, this fast length can help us. Okay, let's make it 2. It will help us to just be able to tell exactly what the heck is going on, or 2 on a better range, 1 on a very quicker range. Okay, let's leave it at 1. Alright, leaving it at 1, saving it. You can see here, if you notice something here, you will see that at every point, look at here, when there is red, you can see there is, this red line cannot go down, can't go down, can't get to the indicator. Alright, let me just leave it there. And then removed. Okay, let's zoom it. On a very good level, you discover that at every point where there is a red line, there's a crossing. If the next candle that comes becomes a green line, this blue line and this red line will cross each other. I don't know if you are getting me. There's this line here. I need color green, and then I need this. Now you notice here, okay, very good. Okay, this is where you read the line here, and before you place a trade, depending on the direction you are placing the trade, let's say you are placing trade, you are going to place trade for an upward direction. You can see this trend here is rising upward. So that means every trade that you should be placing should be an upward trade, you can see. So now before you place a trade for an upward trend, you must make sure that okay, this thing here have crossed. If they are openly, if it is widely open up, then you can place an upward trade. And another thing you have to notice too is that this you can see this short line here, this line, you can see that they are beyond this barrier. Can you see that? Yes, they are beyond that barrier. So assuming they okay, like this one now, one just appeared below. You can see one just appeared below here, which indicate that a fall is about occurring. If it is below, then if you are placing an upward trade and this line, short line, are below, then know that that trade might likely be a loss. That is, if you are playing a rise trade and these short red lines here are below, because this short red line typically tells the overall trend for that period. But if you are placing an upward trend and the short red lines, which you can see very well here, are up above here, then you can place a rise trade and it will go very well and good enough. Now you can see what I was talking about here, that once this thing here cross, you have okay, let me see if I can increase this. Okay, I can do that. You can notice that once they cross, there is a different direction. I hope you are with me. Do you notice that when they cross, there is a change in direction like this now? Okay, you see what I'm talking to you about? Are you seeing here that see when the red line started coming, the red, I'll call them red brooms, it came in a very short manner. And before you place a trade, let's say for instance you want to place a downward trend, having observed this, you have to observe that this is in a concave manner. Are you seeing that? Now look at the other places where it fell. You can, if you notice, you discover that it was in a concave manner. Now it is at this point here that you place trade, so that the remaining length will be for your trade, winning trade. Look at this part too, it was in a concave manner. Look at here too, it was in a concave manner. So that's to tell you that if you are in a trade, for instance at this point here, and you want to place, you are looking at it whether it's going to fall or rise, you can see at this point here it has not assumed the concave manner. Then look at it here too. Here too, it hasn't. Here too, it has, but on a very small bit. Then it is here that it assumed the concave manner. Now, the concave manner here, actually placing a trade here, the ordinary working based on this MACD indicator, you wouldn't place a trade here. Why? Is because there has not been a very strong indication. There is no crossing. Is there any crossing? No, there's no crossing. So the reason why you accept to place a trade here is because there's a crossing at the point where I just drew the green line. So now look at what we are talking about here. Let's get back to the training. Look at this part here. You can see the crossing here and the big downfall here. Now you can see continually place trade depending on how long you have placed your trade. Let's say you're placing your trade for 1 minute. If you're placing your trade for 1 minute, at this point in time you will have placed like 4 different trades or 3 different trades, and they will all be a win. But advisably, it's good to place your trade for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, so that in case this thing want to go up a bit and then later come down, it will just be like something, because it's a trend, counter trend. The market operate based on what we call bounce rate. So in case there has to be some bounce upward because before there's a bounce downward. What I mean by bounce rate is, you see this green candle coming up here. Now it comes up like that on a little bit, then it will go to some exit, let's say at this point here. Now when it goes down, it's just like you throw a board, bounce a board downward, and then the board reflects back, bouncing back upward. So the rate at which the green candle shot upward is the rate at which it will shot downward in a very horrible manner, very big manner. So now look at this. If you notice very well, you can see that a very big M is being traced at this point here. So what we are saying in essence, if using this thing here to know when to know the indication for M sign and the M sign, before now we're using I to check the indication, like okay, let's assume, looking at this candle here, this trend here, let's assume this is our M here. So now normally before now we're looking at first indication and second indication before we place our trade, but look at this here. You can see that there was a small candle here. If you could remember very well, I sent a chart across to each of you, because those charts having candles, if you understand the shapes of this candle, like this one, the doji candle, the hammer candle, the shooting star candle, so that once you see any candle, you know that the trade can be placed in the next minute. Like this particular one now, look at it. It came in as an upside down hammer, as a hammer. So hammer signifies that there's going to be a shot up, and it was obeyed by this green candle that just came up there. So you see, that's why understanding the shape of the candle helps you understand what will be the next outcome. Okay, now for instance, now let me give you another instance. Look at this candle here. Let me clean the green line. You can see that it came down as a shooting star. Now coming down as a shooting star was obeyed by this red candle, which came because it signifies a 4, which obeyed the rule. So we have the doji, like that chart that is sent across to you. It can help guide you enough. You know that when there's one candle, there is a very likelihood that the next that will come out is the opposite, the opposite or the exact likeness according to the chart. Now look at this thing here. You can see it reflect backward and then coming down. Now this chart is going to fall to a very great extent before it rises, and when it rises, you can let's take a very good look at the chart. The chart is moving this way. You can see. Now this is what we call trend line. I just drew this with what I'm using to make this video. Now drawing this trend line, now you can see that this, okay, I'm not using an exact trend line though. This is just a casual drawing. You know, when you're making an engine drawing for a machine part, there's a draft line and there's a line drawn with ruler that is mainly for calculation. So this is just a draft line. So like I told you, this trend is going to fall to a very great extent. Looking at the length, it has gone this length. It will still go down, even to some extent like this before it begins to eventually shoot up. And when it shoots up, it will go beyond expectation. You get me? You get what I'm saying? So now, based on the MACD, look at how far it has gone. So I believe now you understand how this MACD function. Now looking at the opening hard and the MACD is still open, it gives you the morale to continue placing trade, especially when you are sure that it's in form of your M strategy. It doesn't matter how large the arm of the M is, but so long as it is still within the formation, then you are good to go. Then another thing that we'll also look at is MACD. We've looked at MACD. The next thing we'll be looking at will be what they call it. I mentioned. Oh, I didn't mention oscillator. Okay, oscillator. Let me just make this a quick one because I didn't mention among the three things. Oscillator just function as MACD function, but I believe it should be working alongside the MACD. It's like a sister to MACD. You can see oscillator does not have two lines, but it is graded. Like oscillator typically works alongside MACD. With oscillator, you know exactly what is likely to come. Like look at this oscillator. From here, it was showing green. It was showing green line until here, right? Until this part. Then it started showing a red line in a degraded format. Now showing red line in the degraded format typically tells you that okay, the market is beginning to fall, it is beginning to go down. See, it eventually took a downward and under I'll call this an underdog broom formation. So any trader, especially the ones who are scared to place trade, at this point you should know that you can enter the market and still come out successful. Or if you want to be very very sure, at this point you can still enter the market and come out very very successful. So that's how oscillator works. So now let's look at Bollinger Band. It is used by almost most of these traders. We have Bollinger Bands, other Bollinger, so you shouldn't mistake me for any other thing. So Bollinger Band, you can see the scope of Bollinger Band. See the scope. Now Bollinger Band tells you the overall trend in a particular direction. It has three strands. Like this is one. Oh, sorry, let me use my line again. Three strands. This is one, this is two, and then this is the third one. Now this three strand now helps the overall direction of the trend. Just like majority takes the vote, is where trade proceeds. For instance, now you can see the red and the down one, the middle and the down one is facing down, except this last one that is facing up. It typically tells you that the overall trend direction is downward. Most times Bollinger Band has what they call operating based on the bullish engulfing and the bearish candle. Now in Bollinger Band, once there is any squeeze, like it has what we call you can see here, after every squeeze there is a blowout. Like here now, see there's a squeeze here. Now after this squeeze here, now the blowout in whatever direction that the blowout occur, after the squeeze, the next the blowout in whatever direction it occur, it goes down in a very large it goes in a very large quantity. Okay, pardon me for the short interruption. Alright, okay, now look at here, there's a squeeze here, and now when it blows this way. You see now this one, there was a squeeze here. When it blows, you can see how far it blew. Now here there's a squeeze, but when it blows downward. So now using Bollinger Band, what you just need to do is just to understand the particular direction it is going to blow to. Like here now, let's say it's squeeze here. Okay, you receive a squeeze here, and now what direction did it blow? Did it blow to? Is blowing down. Now that Bollinger Band is going to blow as far as this. I say it's going to blow down in a very large quantity. Though according to this, our MACD here is showing a cross. This will rise to some extent here. It will rise here. It will rise here. But on the long run, it will come down this way, come down, and come down, and come down, based on Bollinger Band analysis. So Bollinger Band analysis just that after every squeeze there's a blowout. Either it is blow upward or blow downward. Now whether it's going to be blown upward or blown downward, it is you as a trader who should be able to tell based on your personal knowledge and analysis, and based on maybe probably other indicator. I hope you understand. Okay, so you can see in this situation now, as long as this keep moving downward, now even as this candle is moving, you should be taking notes here. If there's anything forming, like whether it's going to form upward like this, upward like this, upward like this, upward like this, upward, what is that forming upward like that? You just know that if you are placing a downward trade, you should hold on a little bit, and that doesn't indicate that you should start placing an upward trade immediately, because before you place any trade, normally either downward or upward, first and foremost, most importantly, before you place any trade, you have to check the overall trend. There's what we call overall trend. How is the market performing in 1 hour? In 1 hour, do you notice that it is falling? Now you don't check you have checked 1 hour. How is it performing in 30 minutes? Is it a fall or rising? What is the overall trend? You can see that it is falling in 30 minutes. Now how is it performing in you can check 10 minutes too as well. In 5 minutes, 5 minutes is showing that it is falling very well. Now how is it now performing in 3 minutes? For those of us that are replacing trade for 3 minutes, you can see that 3 minutes is showing that it's really falling. In fact, the 3 minutes itself is even showing that it is this down part has not even completed, just like the 30 minutes, because you have to analyze it in 30 minutes. If in 30 minutes it shows that it's still falling, then you're good to go. Like here now, you can see that it's showing that, oh my god, that this shit is still falling, like falling really hard. You see, it's showing that it's really falling hard. So now, and you can see our MACD, our MACD is showing on a very good downward trend. You get, so if you get what I'm saying, then you should know what I mean. Then let's check back before I now switch back to 1 minute. Okay, you can see the 1 minute. This thing is going to blow down and down and down. So now we've talked about Bollinger Band. This is where to cancel this out. Let me just remove this so that I'll have space, but you can leave as many as possible. The next thing I said we'll talk about is Stochastic Rsi. Stochastic. We have Stochastic and we have Stochastic Rsi. I just indicated the both now. I just added the both. Okay, the first one here is Stochastic. Let me put in the drawing graph. Okay, I see with you. The first one is Stochastic. Then Stochastic Rsi. Then the second one is Stochastics. There are differences. They are the same indicators, but the difference is that one is like a reversal indicator. One is very fast, while the other one is a bit slow. Like this Stochastic here, this one here is slow, but this one here is very fast. So the lines of stochastics works like that of the lines of an ACD indicator. I don't know what it got me. So they work very alike. You can see that at every point that there is a crossing here, there's also a crossing here, and there's also a crossing here. But the only thing is that you can see that small green reaction, that this one reacted by curving, but this one still remains straight up, which means that this stochastic RSI tends to give you an overall average more than the stochastic the stochastics only. So apart from this, in the indicators, the way there are so many other indicators which you as a person, as a trader, can actually test out, like the I won't be able to talk about all of them right now, like all of them, because there are so many and they have so much function. Like we have the directional index, we have the advanced line decline, accumulator, balance power. There's one they call no shorting. I use that often too. We have the EMA cross. That one too is important. So there are just so many. You just have to on them, and then if you have question on any of them, just send it across. I will always answer you as soon as I receive your question, and then I'm free. I'll always answer. So you can see that most of them work similarly. Most of them work in a diverse manner. But anyone that has most of these indicators are classified under oscillator and most oscillator and weight of the market. So if it's an oscillator, like what's a vibration, based on vibration, you discover that the overall weight is recorded. Alright, now you can see that as we're analyzing this market based on what we're analyzing, you can see that there was a blowout. Actually there's a blowout, but you can see that it is beginning to curve upward, and this is our indicator. Okay, we've removed MACD. Okay, this our awesome oscillator is beginning to show that is this time around. Okay, it's beginning to go up. So this blue line will begin to adjust till to start beginning to form its own upward here, upward till to start coming down to maybe when it wants to fall. That's just basically how this show shit works. I'm sorry for using that language, but I just hope you understand what I'm talking about. So there are wide ranges of indicators. So we have the Williams alligator. It's a one fun indicator to work with. Fractal arrow. Where's the answer? Okay, Williams indicator. There are so many ways to remove this if you don't like them. So most times look at the Williams alligator indicator. Now what is this indicator? Okay, what is the name? Alright, you can look at this indicator. Be sure of what you're doing too. Do you notice that the market changes direction after these three lines? In fact, this is one of the best indicators too that anyone should use. Okay, to be sure of what we just, it's not alligator. Okay, it's not what's the name of the indicator again? Let's be sure of the indicator we just chose. Fractal. No, it's not fractal. Williams alligator. Yeah, the name of the indicator is Williams alligator. Alright, let me get rid of the fractal. Alright, Williams alligator. Do you notice that at every point when this the three, we have green, red and blue line, do you notice that at every point where the three lines crosses each other, the market changes direction? at every point where it crosses, the market changes direction. Like, okay, now look at this point here. Now it's all crossing here too. Now this automatically tells you, based on our analysis here and our analysis based on other indicator that we've used, which I've just removed here. Now this will automatically tell you that whether it's coming down with a red candle, just know that this red candle is a bounce, is for a bounce, is for a rebound. Okay, to say, you can fit in your English there. Alright, so look at this now. This automatically tells you that this is going to shoot up this way. Alright, it's going to shoot up as possible. Okay, now look at here. When all the three cross, it was a sure thing that it was all going to be a rise. Now you can see here that there was a wobbling here. They didn't really cross, but they were dancing together, and that shows that the market is a bit stabilized and indecisive at those moments. But now look at here, when they all cross here, it's when they all cross here, it was a bit rise, and then suddenly they all cross here again, it became a big fall. So these are the name of the indicator is Williams alligator. So take note of all these indicators and make good use of them. So most of them are very effective, especially when you're working on the MT4 market, MT5 market. Okay, but we haven't got into that already. So now let me use this opportunity. This video is already long enough. I'm not going to upload it via the normal platform. I have to use WhatsApp, YouTube to upload it, because it is for to avoid buffering the video. So now let me just use this opportunity to also explain other strategy that we've not really touched. Like in this place now, we can now talk about the M method, the W strategy, which work almost same in the same manner as the M strategy. If you understood the M strategy very well, you understand W. It works like this. Okay, alright, or like this. You can see, just the way the M strategy works, that's the same way the W strategy work. So now what you are looking at when it comes to the W strategy, okay, using this as an example. Alright, 1, 2, 3. What we are looking after in this kind of situation, I need this line to be yellow, so that what we are looking after is this last arm of the W, right? So since what we are looking for is the last arm of the W, what we're waiting for is an indication. Now you can see, after the first indication, the second one, the next one, you begin to place your trade. Or to be very sure of what you are doing, you use the awesome oscillator or MACD indicator. Like the awesome oscillator, you can see here, when it came up here, it started showing a trend, a shorter trend of an indication that the trade is going upward, okay, like this. Alright, so you know that, okay, you've seen your first indication by using your manual eye, just like using your, they say, use your how do they put this kind of adage, like in my old wide eye, you're able to see, you have used your white eye to see this, and you have seen this other one. So this indication, I've shown this, and let's say if you are using let's quickly on our MACD so that we know what we are doing. Alright, MACD. Okay, now our MACD is, where did the MACD go to? Okay, see the position where on this sheet came down here. Alright, our MACD is clearly telling us that, okay, bro, go ahead, place your trade, man, things are going good because there's a crossing. Alright, look at the MACD. Can I draw a line? MACD just okay, this thing just obey me. Alright, sorry, my hand is not as straight as possible. You can see MACD just showed you that, okay, since it has crossed successfully at this point here, you can go ahead to place your trade, which you, apart from MACD, remember the setting I made on the MACD, which apart from MACD can be, you can use your stochastic SI or stochastic indicator. Remember the MACD, the setting we place on it when on this fast here, we didn't leave it as 12, we reduced it to I think 1, so that's 1 for better and quicker signal. Okay, at 1, this point here where the green candle started showing is this point here. All right, but this will help you to know exactly this reducing it to that level. It's just like making it. It's just like making it. The signal comes very fast. Like when it's going to change direction, it should come very fast. But leaving it at this point here, 12, which is still okay. If you leave it at 12, it's still okay. But leaving it at 12 just tells you the overall indication. A no, would I call it a short thing, a short, no reflection. It's not as if you want to touch more and then go backward or something. So most times when you check that to, like for instance, now let me try and place this MACD again. MACD, let me place it again. Let me see whether it will come up again. Okay, it came up twice. Okay, now for a better chances, one can just decide to reset the second one by resetting to 1, the one that you want. All right, then here you can also include your other indicator, how do you call it, alligator or Williams alligator. Now at this point here, note there's something that you should note. Do you notice that this Williams alligator cross at this point here? Okay, let me on it. Look at this point where it crossed and look at where the changes started. There's something that I want you to notice, that this Williams alligator in this indicator, the reason why they are called indicators is because they move ahead. So this point here where it crosses, probably this trade, this point at which it crosses, this trade was still at this point here before this crossing occurred. So when this trade got to this point, the line fully crossed itself at this point. Let's check the front line of this chart. I need to go to the front, far front. All right, you can see. So you can see that it is slightly ahead of the chart. If you are looking at it, look at this. You can see that it's slightly ahead of it. I'm showing you something here. Look at here. Okay, thank you. It's slightly ahead there. So now because it's slightly ahead there, it makes indication comes before it's there's any diversion or inversion. So here now, this thing that happened here now is something that started occurring probably this point in time. Alright, so that's how the MDW strategy and the M strategy works alike. That's how this whole thing works. So I hope you are able to be flexible on these indicators. Using indicator on your account, let's just go to our account, binary.com. So we'll know exactly what the heck is going on. Alright, I don't want to share that. Alright, looking at this chart here, I don't know if you are using it on your mobile, it should show differently, but I just want to show something here. Now if you to reset this, you have to change to 1 minute. Then indicator can be located here, you can see here, but did you know that what you see here is a bit different from how you see it on the other side? In fact, there are some different names. MACD. Okay, here the name is given info. Okay, the way at which you see it here is not the same way you see it on the other side, and that is why here most times after installing all the indicator on this platform, this interface, because this interface is not particularly made for indicators, particularly made to place trade, haven't checked your markets and everything. So here after some time, after placing most of this indicator, it normally hooks the interface hooks. So too much indicator is not good to install too much indicator on this interface here. And maybe one is okay, MACD is okay, or you can IS2 or IS2 if I'm not mistaken, so it doesn't hook. So but before you go ahead to place it, you must be sure that this market is moving, because the whole thing can be static, and then you'll be thinking, oh, the market is favorable, okay, it's moving this direction, then you rush and place trade and you end up fucking the whole thing up, and you don't like that. Sorry for using that word, but that's just how it is. All right, so let's go back here, and you can see that's how we analyze the chart. So now look at, before we go, let's just take one good look at this now, to look at the current situation of the market. You can see this, what is happening here. You can see this green one has bent a little bit, the red one has bent a little bit, and the blue one has bent a little bit, waiting for a crossing to occur, which is going to occur in a very short while. So now as a wise trader, you can check here this awesome indicator showing that okay, the red line has started coming in a steepy format. You know, here when it comes, it came in a steepy format before it changes to downward. Now it has started coming in a steepy format. These are coming in a steepy format, and MACD have crossed the fast MACD. This one, remember, this one we reset it to 1. It's we call it fast MACD. The fast MACD has crossed here, but the slow MACD has still not crossed, but it has bent to a crossing. So now, see this slow MACD cross, this fast MACD just tell you how fast the things are going, you know, how fast things should be going, how things are going. If you had placed trade for 1 minute just using this fast MACD here, it could likely result to if it's a 1 minute trade, loss or something, because the trade probably start from somewhere here, and then if this candle does not eventually shoot down below this line, the next 1 minute, which I'm sure that from the point it placed here this one is beyond 1 minute. That's why I like 3 minutes trade or 4 minutes trade. At this point here, it has gone far away, but actually it's still going to fall. It doesn't mean it's not going to fall. So like say using, that's why this slow this thing, it's always good to use it as it is. Using the slow, once it crosses, you know that it's a short thing, or once this three line here cross themselves, you know that it's a short thing. You're gonna play straight. So I hope you enjoyed it. I've made this tutorial long enough. I hope you enjoyed this. If there's any question or anything you need to understand, please do well to hit me with your question, and I'll get right back with your answer. Thank you.